Okay, video number 33. This one is going to be all about money. Everyone wants to know it. Everyone wants to have more of it, but nobody knows a goddamn thing about it. So we're going to run through. And again, money, just like everything else in this course, you think you know what money is, and you don't have a fucking clue. Accountants don't have a clue. Financial advisors don't have a clue. Money professionals, financial professionals, investment professionals, all these people literally don't have even the slightest fucking clue what money really is. And I'm going to teach it to you right now. So first and foremost, for people who are curious, how do you make money? How do you become rich? Everyone wants to know this. Everyone's talking about it. There's only two things that directly and exactly determine how much money you will make as a human being. And you're going to hear different things from every single person under the sun, moon, and stars. I have studied hundreds and hundreds of books about marketing and sales and lead generation and money and finance and investment and joint ventures and everything under the sun, moon, and stars you can possibly think of. Hundreds of books. Hundreds of courses, hundreds of seminars. I've done it all. Not done it all because I'm always learning, obviously, right? But I've been around the block big time. Okay, so the two things that determine your ability to gain and control money is in direct relation to your understanding of the words and functions of money. The words. Combined with your skill in being a trustee. So let's go over that again. Your ability to gain and control money is in direct relation to your understanding of the words and functions of money combined with your skill in being a trustee. So if you understand the words, terms, and phrases associated with money, you understand the basic mechanics of money, and you understand how to be a good trustee, you will get rich. Period. Well, you understand the basic elements of being a trustee, and then you actually do the actions to be a good trustee. Let's add that in there too, okay? That said, let's get started on money. This is going to be pretty in-depth, so this might be another one that you need to watch more than once, okay? Constitution, Article 1, Section 10. No state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. So, like I said before, coin. It says coin right there. It says fucking coin. It doesn't say paper money or gold money or whatever. It says gold and silver coin. So, what does that mean? That means anything that isn't a coin made out of entirely either gold or silver or a combination of gold and silver is not legal tender. Now, I understand on a Federal Reserve note, it says legal tender for all debts, public and private. That's because the government is a for-profit, private incorporated element, and they've changed all of our statuses, and the Constitution doesn't apply to anybody anymore, right? That's why. But so what they've done is they've circumvented this by creating the sub corporations known as State of California, State of Utah, State of Indiana, etc. In the de jure world, the actual real government, the actual real state of California can only use coins that are made entirely of gold, entirely of silver, or a combination of gold and silver together. Period. And that's it. So only gold in the de jure world, in the real world, is considered, only gold and silver is considered money. Okay, so let's go through and break this down. We have Black's Law, 4th edition. Definition of tender, right? We've got an offer of money. We've already gone over that. The act by which one produces and offers to a person holding a claim or deed against him the amount of money which he considers and admits to be due in satisfaction of such a claim or demand without stipulation or condition. So it's the actual act of having the actual money in your hand, the 5 silver coins, and then handing them over like this. That's the definition of tender, okay? When unjustly refused, people when unjustly refused, places other party in default and permits party making tender to exercise remedies for breach of contract. So if I reach out with gold or silver and you say, nah, bro, I'm good, the debt instantaneously evaporates, but I get to keep my money. That's basically what definition of number 2 of tender means, which is really nice. It's another way that when you build your conditional acceptances, which you're going to see in my second conditional acceptance that I have, my big boy one, that I sent to American Express, you'll see in there, if I ever post that, we'll see, it has to be successful for me to post it. That one, I use this definition as an effort to force them to get the debt dissolved. Okay. So, this means when you offer to pay with something like a 1099-A form and it is refused, there is a breach of contract and the amount owed is voided out and poof into the air. Okay. Another definition, the actual proffer of money as distinguished from mere proposal or proposition to proffer it. Number 4, legal tender is that kind of coin, money, or circulating medium which the law compels a creditor to accept in payment of his debt when tendered by the debtor in the right amount. That's the word tender. Okay? So it means the actual physical taking of money and handing it out to somebody and saying, here you go, in that moment. Definition of money from Black's Law 4th edition. In usual and ordinary acceptation, it means gold and silver or paper money used as circulating medium of exchange and does not embrace notes, bonds, evidences of debt, or other personal or real estate. And if you don't believe me, I don't know why you wouldn't believe me. You're this far in the course. If you didn't believe me, you probably wouldn't be listening at this point. But I'm not going to show you all of these because it's going to take fucking forever. But I will show you this one because this one's pretty mind-blowing. Money, 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 money. I just want some money. Do you want me to strip for you so you can stuff some money in my underwear? Stuff some money everywhere. I'm available for bachelor parties, ladies. Bachelorette parties. If you need a good dancer, give me a call. I'm not cheap, but, you get what you pay for. Money. Money. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, money. Where are you? Oh, money, where are you? I just want some of you, yeah, in my wallet too, yeah. Okay, there it is. Unusual and ordinary acceptation. It means gold, silver, paper money, a circulate medium of exchange. Does not embrace note, bonds, evidences, debt, or other personal or real estate. Oh. In its strict technical sense, wow, this is interesting. I haven't even seen this one. Money means coined metal, usually gold or silver, upon which the government stamp has been impressed to indicate its value. In its more popular sense, money means any currency, tokens, banknotes, or other circulating medium in general use as the representative of value. So in its strict technical sense, as per Article 1, Section 10, money means coined metal. This one here says usually gold or silver, but it should say always gold or silver, upon which the government stamp has been impressed to indicate its value. Okay. The simple meaning of money is current coin. Okay. So, So here's me. I wrote this section in a way of going through this myself because it's so much to go through, and it's just such an emotional roller coaster to go through all this. So, wait a second. Does not embrace notes. Wait just a second. What's in my wallet is a Federal Reserve note. Okay, so what is that? Federal Reserve is referring to a network of private, for-profit, non-government banks that supply our currency at interest. So back to our good friend Black's Law, 4th edition, in search for the definition of note as per Federal Reserve note. Definition number 1, a unilateral, and you'll see, I'll clear up all these different definitions. A unilateral instrument containing an express and absolute promise of signer to pay to a specific person or order or bearer a definite sum of money at a specified time. Phew, that's a mouthful. Okay, let's start with unilateral. What does that mean? It means obliging only one of two or more parties, nations, or persons as a contract or an agreement. Okay, so it's sort of like an unfair one-sided contract. Okay. Now let's go back to the definition of note and let's clear up the word instrument. 1, a written document, a formal or legal document in writing such as a contract, deed, will, bond, or lease. Well, wait a second. What is a bond? Let's call our friend Black's Law 4th edition bond a certificate or evidence of a debt. Wait, what? Okay, so a Federal Reserve note is not money. It is some kind of contract or maybe a bond, and it is entirely one-sided. So it is evidence of a debt, ? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Let's dive deeper. Are there different kinds of instruments? Well, yes, a negotiable and a non-negotiable instrument. Let's clear up those on Google. As per Investopedia, 1. The term negotiable refers to the fact that the note in question can be transferred or assigned to another party. So it can be passed around, right? Like a whore. Non-negotiable describes one that is firmly established and cannot be adjusted or amended. So it's locked in place, okay? Okay. It's a debt contract that can be exchanged, as notes are negotiable instruments, but it's one-sided. So who owes who? Well, our path has ended here, so let's ask more questions and dive deeper. Okay, what is a dollar? The unit employed in the United States in calculating money values. It is of the value of 100 cents. Okay, so it's a measurement, like an inch. So what is currency? Number 1, coined money and banknotes or other paper money as are authorized by law and do in fact circulate from hand to hand as the medium of exchange. Number 2, the term money is synonymous with currency and imports any currency, token, banknotes, or other circulating medium in general use as the representative of value. Okay, and what is a banknote? Number 1, a promissory note issued by a bank or banker authorized to do so, payable to bearer on demand and intended to circulate as money. So technically a banknote matches with definition number 2 of currency, so I guess it would be a currency but not money. Okay. So who is the Federal Reserve note in evidence of debt for? Me or them? Well, figuring that they give us this currency at interest, it must be me. So I've done a lot of research on this. So basically the way it works is you're a surety on the loan, like we went over before with this one here. So it's actually the United States, the District of Columbia, that owes the money to the Federal Reserve, right? We're basically the sureties or the co-signers on the loan without our consent. So because it doesn't have our consent to begin with, it's fraud, very easy to handle and kill. Once you handle and kill the fraudulent aspect of the contract, you become what's called a secured party creditor. And at that point, you're no longer holding notes of which you have a partial responsibility to pay back. At that point, you're now basically holding notes that a foreign entity now has to pay back, and you don't really have anything to do with it. You are actually the person in the position of power in terms of that loan because you are now a creditor on that loan. A little complicated, but basically, until you change your status and until you clean up all the debts and clean up the all caps name and the trust name and everything, you are attached to the debt associated with all of these Federal Reserve notes. But you can sever that that contract as well. Okay. That whole process, secure party creditor process, I'm going through it right now. It's a lot. Boy, it's a lot. You start with a UCC1, filing a lien on the actual trust name itself. You trademark your all capital letters name in a special way. I don't know a ton about all of this. I'm sure if you hunt around, you can probably find information on it. If you would like help, or if you would like to pay someone to help you do some of these processes, you can do PCS 1-308. You can do James C. Lovett. I have a buddy of mine that can help you. There are resources, but in terms of how to do it and breaking it all down, I'm not totally sure. There's a USPTO website, United States Patent and Trademark Office. You can file a trademark on your all caps name, and I believe you take the local registration number at the top right of your long form birth certificate, and you put that number into where it says docket number or registration number of the patent. I don't know if there are other steps, but I believe that's the main part of it. I could be wrong on that, so I'm not totally sure. But that's just a side note. So just to clean up this little area, okay? So wait, this means that the Federal Reserve note is evidence of me owing the Fed something. So it's evidence of United States owing them the money, but you are a co-signer on the loan without you knowing, and then when you clean up your contract, you're no longer a surety on the loan, okay? And you can discharge all the public debt from your all caps trust name, okay? So what is a debt? Definition of debt is a fixed and certain obligation to pay money or some other valuable thing or things, either in the present or in the future. Okay, so I owe the Fed money, or the U.S. owes the Fed money now or later? Question mark. I suppose that since it's the amount of money that is owed, that means I can only pay this debt in gold or silver. But didn't the government take all the gold in 1933? Question mark. Yes, they did. HJR 192, Public Law 73-10. We've already talked a bit about that. That's about how there is no public debts at all. No public debt exists at all. And you can use that to actually, so I think I went over it before, but if you write a dispute to like Experian or TransUnion to your credit reports, and you tell them that as per HJR 192, otherwise known as Public Law 73-10, all debts, public or private, are no longer exist. You just write a dispute for all of your credit items that are negative, and you just say that about all the various items. And then legally, the credit unions, they have to take down the bad item until the dispute is settled. So while they're looking over and figuring out what they're going to do with your dispute, they do have to remove all of the negative items. And then, as far as I know, HJR 192, Public Law 73-10 is still in action. So they will just take it down. They will look it over for a while, and then from what I know, they just remove all of the items off of your credit report that you do dispute. So file your disputes, get all your negative shit taken off of your credit report entirely, and then your credit score should shoot into the sky. Now that I think about it, you could probably just dispute anything for any reason, and they have to take it down legally. You can put it right in your dispute form. Please take down all these negative points while this dispute is being figured out. And then just get all your credit cards or get all your loans or get all the shit that you want while the dispute is taking place, because no matter what you say, you could say, I dispute this because I'm a purple monkey on Purple Monkey Lane or whatever. And while they're figuring out what they're going to do with your dispute, it gets taken off your credit report. So your credit should skyrocket during that time period. So credit's a joke. Credit reports are a joke. It's all bullshit. It's all created and manufactured out of thin air. None of it means anything, and it's all just an effort to control you, emotionally control you into their big, silly illusionary Alice in Wonderland horseshit system that they have. Okay. Federal Reserve notes are exchangeable contracts that are evidences of a debt. They are not money. The more you have, the more you owe until you change your status. Then has nothing to do with what you owe. In the future, at some point, the debt can be called in to be paid and must be paid with gold and silver. There is not a whole lot of gold because someone took it, and it can't really be paid back by design. So why in the fuck do I want it so badly? Oh, these things are disgusting. Once you change your status, you're no longer tied to the debt associated with Federal Reserve notes. So they're disgusting until you change your status and disconnect from the contract. And then they're not, because now it's just someone else's debt that you have nothing to do with. It's a foreign country's debt. It's United States' debt. Okay? So wait a second. What is real money then? I heard money orders are real money. Let's take a look at the definition of money order. Under the postal regulations of the United States, a money order is a species of draft drawn by one post office upon another for an amount of money deposited at the first office by the person purchasing the money order and payable at the second office to the payee named in the order. Okay, so that looks like real money. Interesting. So money orders are real money. They're orders for payability of gold and silver coin. Okay? So money orders, gold and silver are all real money. Well, if my loan is called in by the Fed, then what would I do? Could I exchange my Federal Reserve notes for a money order to pay the debt? Sounds workable. But wait, if Federal Reserve notes are just contracts, negotiable instruments that are a promise to pay, can't I just whip up my own promise to pay and it will be considered currency, quote unquote? Let's take a look at UCC 3-104, which states, except as provided in subsections C and D, negotiable instrument, quote unquote, means an unconditional promise or order to pay a fixed amount of money with or without interest or other charges described in the promise or order. So yeah, according to UCC 3-104, I could literally whip up and create out of thin fucking air my own negotiable instruments and use them. So fascinating. I'm not coining money. I'm not printing money. I'm literally just writing contracts with agreements and they are accepted. That's not illegal. But wait, how will I get people to accept my negotiable instruments? Let's dive back in. UCC 3-603 states, if tender of payment of an obligation to pay an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce, who you owe money to, the instrument, and the tender is refused, there is discharge to the extent of the amount of the tender of the obligation of an endorser or accommodation party having, okay, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, UCC 3-603 states that if I reach out with my hand and I try to give you $1,000 of something, some kind of tender of payment in any way, shape, or form, if it's a negotiable instrument or anything, and you reject it, it discharges the amount of which I was trying to hand over to you. So if the bill's $1,200 and I hand you a negotiable instrument for $1,200 of value and you reject that negotiable instrument, $1,200 of my bill, which is my entire bill, because that's how much I tried to give you, is now discharged. So the whole bill is discharged, okay, instantly. So that means that credit card companies, mortgage companies, and stuff like that, they can't actually physically reject. For example, when you send them a 1099-A form and you write it out as a check, you're giving them a negotiable instrument by definition, and you're writing on the negotiable instrument how much value there is in the negotiable instrument. So when they refuse to accept the 1099-A form for $100,000, as per UCC 3-603, then you put this in the conditional acceptance. When you send them the 1099, you put all this information in the conditional acceptance. And the American Express conditional acceptance that I did has all this information in it. So as soon as it's successful, I'm going to post a breakdown video of that one. when you send a $100,000 1099-A and a conditional acceptance with the quote here from UCC 3-603, what happens is $100,000 of your debt is now discharged, whether they cash the 1099-A or if they reject it. It doesn't matter. Okay? So they literally cannot refuse a negotiable instrument by law. So wait. I can manufacture negotiable instruments and they must be accepted by statute. This can't be. How would they be able to pay their employees and survive? Wow. It's literally not legal for them to demand I pay my debts with Federal Reserve notes. How wild, right? Hold on, I'm missing something here. I think I need to reorganize this a little bit. So it says here, how will they pay their employees and survive? It looks like they can send in a negotiable instrument and get, quote, US dollars in exchange for the negotiable instrument. So they can't actually get the payment for it, and they do all the time. They file those 1099s all the time behind your back with using your Social Security number. Anytime anyone asks you for your Social Security number, once you give it to them, that's a trustee-beneficiary relationship. You're the trustee and they're the beneficiary. What they do is they use your Social Security number to write 1099-A forms to double dip into your. They take your payment and they double dip by pulling money out of your trust account as well. Companies cannot force you to pay using Federal Reserve notes. Now, keep in mind, one of the things that I've realized more recently is that U.S. citizens and corporations have to follow this. They have to follow the United States Code. They have to follow the UCC. Now, private organizations, private membership associations and 508c1As and any other private non-public organizations do not have to follow the UCC. So if you run around like a retard and you're trying to get individual human beings to accept negotiable instruments, that is stupid and basically illegal. You can only get U.S. citizens or public incorporated corporations and public structures that ideally have more than the president and 2/3 of the board of directors as United States citizens, because then the entire corporation is considered a United States citizen. All of those kind of corporations and situations have to follow UCC 3-603, and they have to follow UCC 3-104. Okay? So they literally physically cannot refuse your negotiable instrument. They literally physically cannot reject payments that are not Federal Reserve notes, and they literally physically cannot require you to pay with Federal Reserve notes. That includes your car payment, that includes your mortgage, that includes your credit card bills, that includes everything. So that means that all your debt that you're all fucking worried about, that you cry about, that you can't sleep about, is all literally like one single form, 5 minutes of your time away from being completely discharged, whether they like it or not. So debt is a fucking joke, okay? Debts are already prepaid as per HJR 192, otherwise known as Public Law 73-10. So mortgages, credit card bills, they're all paid for already. You just don't know that. They don't exist. They've all been prepaid via your Cesta KV trust account. That's all part of HJR 192. The trust accounts pay everything. The government pays everything, right? They already have all the money for all of your bills and your mortgage and everything. Your mortgage was paid off the second you signed for it. Your car was paid off the second you signed for it. Your credit card was paid off the second you charged your card. So what they do is they already have all your money, and they are double dipping by charging you and charging your trust without you knowing it. Okay? So if you have a $10,000 credit card payment every month, you're actually paying $20,000 every month. You're paying $10,000 out of your Cesta KV trust account via a 1099-A form, and then you're paying $10,000 Federal Reserve note dollars when you pay your statement which is just an allegation, as we've already covered. The definition of statement is allegation. Okay. They're alleging that you owe $10,000 and you're agreeing to the allegation. They're not saying that you actually owe. It's not a true bill. It's not a bill. It's an allegation. And the reason why is because it was already paid. That's why it's called statement. It's not called a bill. It isn't a bill. Because if you did take the allegation and put it before a jury, and then you explain to the jury how they are filing a 1099-A form, and then they would have to say under oath that they weren't filing 1099-A forms and show proof that they weren't double dipping in some way in order for the allegation to be stamped by a jury to become a true bill, like we talked about before. Okay? So none of that's going to happen. And that's why all of your debts, dude, all your credit reports, all your negative credit reports, all the collection agencies, all of your debts, all of your credit cards, your mortgage, your car payment, all of it is literally like one little piece of dust, like one tiny little dust particle, and you are like this fucking monstrosity Goliath. Behemoth beast that somehow in some weird way, because of all these confusing definitions and words, it's somehow flipped into this Alice in Wonderland weird everything's upside down world where it appears and there's this illusion and this false perception that all this debt and all this stuff and all these tax people are all this big fucking deal, and it's such a big fucking deal, and you're just this little ant. And you just got to think about it. It doesn't make sense. Like, if you're the source of all authority as per law, and if you're the source of all credit as per law, how are you not the sovereign? How are you not the king? How are you not the queen? Fucking factually, you are the king. Factually, you are the queen. Even if you don't like the fact that you are, it doesn't fucking matter. You are the king. You are the queen. Whether you think so, whether you don't, whether Amex thinks you are, whether they don't, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You are the source of the credit of the United States. You are the source of authority for all police officers. You are the source of authority for all judges. When you get called into a courtroom, you show up on general appearance. That's like, yo, I've got the authority and I'm showing up to hand it over to you on a silver fucking platter. Why show up? Why show up at a fucking foreign world? Why would you even go there? Why would you even accept the summons? What right do they have to even ask you your name? You are a fucking king. You are a fucking queen. You are the source of all of the creation of money. Without you, the banks can't create fiat money. Without your promissory note and your signature on these pieces of paper, they can't create the fucking money out of thin air. If you have an IQ of 60 and you're missing all your teeth and you're in a fucking wheelchair, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. An incorporated element, a fucking corpse, doesn't have any fucking power. You, as the living human being, have all of the fucking power. You are the fucking king or queen. And if you don't realize that, you are living in a fucking matrix. You are living in an illusion. And when you realize that that's the case, and you allow yourself to learn and step out of that illusion, you will realize that you are the fucking sovereign. You make the fucking rules. You create the forms. You cross things off. You tell your public servants, which is the bankers and the fucking Bureau of Consular Affairs and all of these fucking places, you're telling the IRS what the deal is. When they call you, sir, I'm calling you. Hey, no. That's not how this works. This call is being recorded, by the way. That's not how this works. You record the calls. All these fucking people. I don't recommend you get on the phone with any of these people. It's fucking pointless because you're just idiots, messengers. Okay. But if you really, really want to get on the phone with these people, which I think is fucking stupid, you record the call. You download some kind of app, you record the call, and you say, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. You're the trustee and I'm the beneficiary. This is a trust action. I'm recording this call right now, and I'm going to tell you how this is going to fucking work. And let me tell you something else. If you fuck around with me at all and you commit trust fraud on the phone, I will have it recorded. And I will lien you for trust fraud, and it's a felony. Would you like to commit trust fraud right now? I'm curious. I'm so curious. And they're going to get really kind of freaked out and scared, whatever. And if they commit trust fraud, hang up on them. You got the recording now. Fucking lien them. Lien them for trust fraud. You're the one in the driver's seat, okay? Now, does that mean you should be going around being a complete asshole? Does that mean you should go around ripping people apart just because you can? No, it doesn't mean you should be a fucking bully. You start being a bully with this stuff, you will wind up dead or in prison. I'm serious. I've seen it. This is not. This is big dick energy. Big dick energy. Okay, you start swinging around a big fat dick, bad things can happen. That's why I don't run around filing liens. Will I do it if I'm pushed hard enough? Yes, but I don't run around doing all this crazy shit. I don't recommend you do it. You will get slammed. Okay. By either human beings just chilling or by the system. You know, someone's going to slam you. Okay. So that's just a side note. Okay. So back to this. You would write a conditional acceptance and you would send it to them with the negotiable instrument. Okay. Wow, this is so empowering. I now have the power to discharge any debt in my hand in a pen. I no longer need Federal Reserve notes. Unreal. Okay. Will it hurt the company if I send this to, if I send it to them, no, because they can cash in the negotiable instrument and get US dollars in exchange for the negotiable instrument. But they were already, like credit cards and mortgages, they've already been double dipping into they've already gotten their money. Your hands are like magic wands. It's time to make this debt that is destroying my life and my family's life vanish like magic. Yeah. And people ask me like, well, dude, can I just go out and like buy a brand new car and then just discharge it like after the first payment? Yeah. Fuck it. I don't know. Sure. Whatever you want to do. Your trust is already paying for it. So if you want to go out and buy a house and then just discharge it, if you want to go out and buy a car and then just discharge it, fuck it. I mean, they're getting their money. So I don't, why do you think, they're always trying to push you into financing everywhere you go? Everybody's trying to push you into, it's finance. Oh, you ready to finance? You ready to finance? You ready to finance? Everybody wants to talk about financing. The salespeople are all trained to try to finance everything. Well, yeah, because with the financing, the trust pays for the whole thing, plus they get the whole thing again, plus they get the interest on the second loan. So a $60,000 car winds up being like $150,000 sale. And that's, So anyways, that's the true breakdown of money. If you need to go through in Black's Law and look up every single one of these words, you should. If you want money, if you like money, if you would like money to be friendly toward you, I'm not a big voodoo person. I'm kind of a voodoo person, sort of. And what I mean by that is I do believe that your thoughts and your understandings and your comprehension of the things around you do change the way in which other things around you behave towards you. If you love certain things, if you understand certain things, generally speaking, even inanimate objects will have a tendency to break less or degrade less or come to you when you want it to. There's more control there. Do I think that's everything under the sun, moon, and stars? No. I think that's just an element of the overall situation. There's some voodoo there. I call it voodoo, just, the ether shit, So you can go through, you can clear up all these different words and all these different definitions, and you can learn what money actually is. We do not have any money in today's society. Federal Reserve notes are not money. Federal Reserve notes are nothing more than a contract, as if they're a contract, and basically the contract, they're basically IOUs. And they're IOUs that say, So after going through all that, if you're still a little confused, a $20 bill, okay, it's basically just a contract. Let's see here. Can you see me? It's basically just a contract that says U.S. owes Fed Reserve $20 at some point. That's all a $20 bill is. $20 bill is a contract that states, it's a piece of paper that is a contract that states that U.S., otherwise known as District of Columbia, owes the Federal Reserve $20 of real money, which is most likely gold or silver, at some point in the future. So what that means is that if the Federal Reserve decided to wake up tomorrow and call in all their loans, it would just, the whole country would just immediately collapse. That is the theory behind it, but in reality, all we have to do as a populace is just go, oh, that's fraud, bro, goodbye, and that's it, and it just, the whole thing literally just falls apart like a house of cards. There's zero foundation on this entire thing. So if enough of us wake up and start saying, wow, this seems like fraud, that's it. The whole thing just almost literally like effortlessly, the whole entire thing, the Social Security accounts and the trusts and the birth certificates and the taxes and the IRS and all the different International Monetary Fund and all this whole giant system and matrix, once we wake up and say, that's fraud, the whole thing just goes instantly. So with no effort, like we just yawn, have a cigar, not even have to jam a cucumber up our ass. We won't even need that much time. Cigarette, little whiskey, and then freedom. So not a big deal. Your debts and your situation is about as serious as stubbing your toe on the corner of your bed frame, lightly, not even heavily. So there you go. And that's it for video number, I forgot which video number we're on. Video number 33. I'll see you guys at video number 34. Bye-bye.